Hello and welcome back. I hope that you are taking care of yourself, and if you are someone who's taking care of a widow, that you are allowing her to go through all the emotions that she has, and that you do it with a listening of love. Now, today's lesson is lesson number 2, and it is a list of things that we suggest that gets done with the first week or first month or even the first quarter. And it can be done at any time, but we suggest that you do go ahead and look at the lists and listen to the list, because it might be something that you think you've already done, but there's a few things that we've added that you'd like to do as well. Don't worry about trying to write it all down here. We will have it down below for your convenience. And you can also find a lot of this information in the book that I wrote. And this is Navigating the Unique Financial Needs of Women Today. And there is a list in there for new widows. So it's all written down for you, and you don't have to go buy this. Please just email me or my team, and we will send it to you via email. If you have email, it'll come in a PDF form and you can read it from there. So don't have to spend any money. So in here, we do talk about in the first week. So if you've already been through the first week, go ahead and listen or read the list, because there might be some things perhaps that you could add to the things that you've already gotten done. So one of the things obviously is to go ahead and get death certificates. And I do suggest getting more than one. Go ahead and get 10, whatever you think that you might need as far as being able to notify certain places. So getting copies of the death certificate from the court later can be arduous. It could be difficult to do. So go ahead and get 10 or so of the death certificates. Now, go ahead and gather up this information, as we're going to do next steps with this information. So you'll want the birth certificate of your husband, the Social Security number, any wills and trust documents. We'll talk about that in a moment. Any mortgage documents, things that you signed to buy the house for the mortgage, any deeds, insurance policies, bank statements, investment accounts. If he was in the military, getting any military paperwork if it's appropriate. One of the first things you would like to do, either yourself or have someone you really trust, is go and look inside the safe deposit box. If you have one, please go and look in there, because there might be documents in there, such as the insurance policies or other valuables that you may not be able to have access to once you notify the banker. Even sometimes at some of the banks, even if somebody has a POA, a power of attorney, they're not able to access that box. Then after you've gathered all that information, you can go ahead and notify your banker. You do want to make sure that if you have a joint account, that joint account has both of your names on it, and it has like right of survivalship, because once you notify the banker, if it's just in his name, you have to go through a probate process unless it says POA on it. So just be real careful about being able to have about 6 months worth of funds, cash, savings that you have access to before you notify the banker. But go ahead and get that done. Notify the insurance agent, the financial advisor if you have one, the attorney if you have one for estate planning, and your accountant. Within that first week, it's really important to go ahead and call the Social Security. The number is on ssa.gov. And you'll also, if your spouse was working, contact the spouse's employer if they're not aware of it already. Go ahead and ask about things like the healthcare coverage. Are you going to need COBRA, or are you on Medicare? Ask about the 401k plan, pension benefits, profit sharing. Ask for any personal emails that they have. Maybe you need to view them, but just make sure that they are deleted off of their system. That's most of the things that we want to make sure we try and get done in a very quick fashion. I'm saying in the first week. If not, get it done as quickly as possible. And then hopefully within the first month, you can do things like reaching out to gather up any hotel points or airline points. Look at credit card. Are there any credit card cashbacks or other bonuses that should be available and transferred to you? it's usually a family member that gets that. So the spouse should be able to get all of those points once the husband has passed. And you do want to make sure that you cancel any credit cards that are in his name only. You can talk with the credit card company if it's a joint. So make sure to cancel any credit card or any other debt that's in his name only. And do look up things like digital points from restaurants, etc. Some of the airline miles you can usually transfer to someone like a military person or a loved one. As you're doing these, I wanted to make you aware that this could trigger, and it did for me, but it triggers this solicitation from companies. People will be calling you about annuities and reverse mortgages. And even if you do want or need some of those services or products, tread very carefully and do your due diligence on these companies and have your advocate who you've found or you're about to find, have the advocate look at those as well. So don't sign your name to things until you've really made sure that it really is something that you need or want to have. I hope that you found this helpful. And in our next lesson, we are going to talk a little bit about the emotions versus the logical decisions with your advocate. See you then.